Hello everyone, so welcome you back to Ashok Tutorials, Meghalaya's first Mtet channel. So today we are going to continue with the part 3 of English paper 1, right? So let us continue, let us see what we have. Alright, let's go down. Oral language development was the last topic we covered, right? Alright, so today we are going to study this part, that is what? Listening with comprehension. Simple instructions, classroom discussions, poetry recitation, newspaper reading, reading stories, films, note discussion, etc. Alright, so let's see. Listening with comprehension. So what does listening with comprehension mean? So listening with comprehension is the ability to understand spoken language in various contexts, ranging from simple instructions to more complex activities like classroom discussions, poetry recitations, newspaper reading, reading stories, films, and note discussion. Here's a detailed explanation of listening comprehension in these contexts along with examples. So listening with comprehension is what? It is the ability of what? It is the ability to understand what? The spoken language. It is the ability to understand what? It is the ability to understand the spoken languages in various contexts. All right, various context means what? It is ranging from simple instructions to complex instructions we are able to understand, which means from simple to complex. We move from where to where? From simple to complex. All right, and a teacher's job is to make the complex into simple. It is the opposite, right? We as teachers, what do? We take complex topics and made it into simple ones and explain to our students, right? So here it is the opposite. Here it says that we are listening with comprehension is the one's ability of understanding simple thing into the level of complexity. All right, like in classroom discussions, listening comprehension, the skills improve where? In classroom discussion it is improving. Then poetry recitations, classroom discussions, there are different type of discussions we do, right? We take the class, after the class we ask questions from the students, right? So all those things. The poetry recitation, so English teachers are very well versed with what is poetry recitation. So students are asked one by one to recite the poem, right? The newspaper reading, so these days what do we do in assembly? Whenever we are conducting the assemblies and all, we ask the students to do the newspaper reading, right? Then reading stories, the English teacher, they also ask the students to read the stories, the prose in the classroom, right? Films and note discussion. Films means what? Films means dramatization. If we are suppose Romeo and Juliet, right? Othello. So these are some of the stories which are given in English, right? So here what do we do? See, in order to understand it well, what do? We can do one thing, that is we can perform the play. We can perform this play in the form of a drama. So as like the more senses we involve in the process of learning, the more we learn. Which means what? It means, see, when you are reading, what are you doing? You are just using your eyes, sensation of sight, and you are using your voice, right? So voice, sound, so sensation of hearing. So these two senses are being utilized. But when you are watching a drama, your concentration is there, your focus is there, your eyes is there, then your listening skill is there, you're listening. All right, you're listening. What are you doing? You're listening. So you're listening, you're watching at the same time, you're feeling the emotions. So it becomes very easy, very simple for you to understand the play. What is the what does the play wants to say? All right, now simple instructions. Now let us see what do we mean by simple instructions. So definition: these involves understanding and following basic verbal directions or commands. For example, a teacher instructs the students, please take out your math book and turn to page number 25. The student listens, comprehends the instructions and follows them accordingly. So simple instructions. See, we say, hey, you stand up, you sit down, you please go and get the chalk, you please go and call so and so. So these are simple instructions, right? And basically what do we say once we enter the classroom? We say, hey, dear students, good morning. So now you take out your English storybook or English playbook and turn to page number 36. So these are some of the simple instructions. So what do the students do? They understand, they listen to us first, right? What is the sir saying or what is ma'am saying? So once they listen to us, they try to understand, so they are comprehending it, right? So after understanding, what do? They follow it accordingly. So these are what? These are simple instructions which the teachers give to the students, right? Now classroom discussions. Now let us see, what do we understand by classroom discussions? Definition. In a classroom setting, students are expected to comprehend spoken information during discussions, lectures, or group activities. Yes. See, in classroom discussions, what happens? We do explaining, right? What do? We do explaining. We use examples, we use different strategies, we use different type of teaching aids, we use different type of medias, we use different type of what do we call it? We use different type of techniques, right? We are using different type of techniques, skills, right? So why are we using all these things? We are using all these things so that the topic becomes easy for the students to learn, so that they listen to us, they understand it, and then they apply it wherever needed, right? So during a history class, the teacher discusses a historical event and students needs to listen attentively to understand the details, context, and its implications to the event. All right. So during a history class, it says giving an example of a history, right? So whenever we are listening to history, suppose like where is Taj Mahal located, who constructed Taj Mahal and all. So the students are listening to the teachers, right? They are listening to the teacher and they try to understand what the teacher is trying to say. And we as teachers, we try to give as much as examples possible in order to make what we intend to say in a clear fashion, right? Now let's see poetry recitation. What is poetry recitation? Definition. Listening to poetry involves understanding the meaning, emotions, and nuances conveyed in the spoken word. See, what is poetry or what is poem? Poem or poetry means, see, actually there's a big difference between poems and poetry. Poetry is a collection of poems. Poetry is a collection of poems, right? Whenever you are saying poetry, which means, it means that many poems. There can be 2 poems, 3 poems, 4 poems, 100 poems, right? But whenever you are saying a poem or a poem, it means only one poem, all right? Suppose you take the example of John Keats' poem, that a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty is a joy forever, right? So this is a beautiful poem written by John Keats, right? Then there is another poem, The Human Seasons. I do not remember who wrote it, but it was also a very beautiful poem, right? Then Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore, right? So all these are different type of poems or poetries, right? So what, like suppose somebody is reading poem in a class, so what happens? The student should be able to read it with emotions, with proper pronunciations, with proper punctuations, all right? Then only the poem becomes so impressive, that the listeners feels very good. They are able to understand what the poet actually tried to say, all right? So an actor recites a poem on stage. The audience listens to the recitation, comprehends the emotions, interprets the symbolism and themes embedded in the poem. So actor, who is an actor? Anybody who does acting is called actor. See, whenever we think of actors, it does not mean Bollywood actors or Hollywood actors. No. Actor means anybody who is acting. Actor can be teachers as well. See, suppose inside the classroom, suppose we entered with a very happy mood, but after looking at the students or their behavior, their misbehavior, our mood changes. So mood changes means even if we don't want to be strict with them, we have to be strict, right? Even if we don't want to scold them, we have to scold them. Even if we are not angry, we have to show our angers. So what are we doing here? We are just acting. What are we doing? We are just acting. And yes, same goes the other way. That is, students. Do you think that students, the way they sit in the class when a strict teacher enters, they stay in the same way once the teacher leaves? No, not at all. The students, they try to behave very well in front of the teachers, right? Maximum of the students will behave good with us. Why so? Because they have to follow certain rules and regulations, right? So this is also an example of acting. So what the students are doing here, they are trying to act, right? They are trying to act in front of us. They are trying to be good. Actually, they are good. I'm not saying they are bad. Of course, they are good, but they try to be like a, in a disciplined manner, in a very, the manners which is expected of them. So they try to sit according to that fashion only, right? But then once the teacher leaves, what happens to the classroom? All chaos go around. They try coming out from the bench, from their place of sitting, and they go here and there throwing this and that, right? It is full of chaos. So every one of us are actors in our lives, right? Suppose you are hurt with something, but we don't try to show our emotions, right? We try to let it be. I am strong, we show it, but deep down we know that we are hurt, and we are acting, right? So these are some examples of acting. Now let us see newspaper reading. These involves comprehending news articles, reports, and editorials as they are read aloud or presented via audio recording. So this is what I was saying, that in newspaper, what do you find? You find the news articles, right? Different type of articles on Israel and Palestine war, articles on Russia and Ukraine wars, articles on the advancement in the field of medicine, articles on the new admissions, new universities coming up, right? So different type of things you find. Then reports, there are different type of reports available. Then editorials means the editor of the newspaper, what the editor is writing, right? A radio news anchor reads a breaking news report. Listeners need to grasp the information, context, and implication of the news. See, now, what do the news channel people do? What do they do? What do they say is that they say like, so now the breaking news is coming from Palestine and Israel, that the war is going on between them, and the war was initiated by Hamas, the militant group, and all they say, right? This way they say. So it means what? They are trying to capture our attention. Because if they say in a boring way, like Palestine and Israel war is going on, and this happened, no, nobody will listen to you. But in order to make your audio a very impressive one, you have to speak in a very impressive way, right? You have to use different kinds of stimulus variations, right? Different type of stimulus variations you have to use in your voice, right? Then these are, yes, as teachers, we have done our B.Ed, we have done our D.L.Ed, so we know what do we mean by micro teaching skills, right? There are different type of micro teaching skills. So we as teachers, we are using those skills in our teaching, right? Yes. Now reading stories. See, all of us, we love to read stories, especially the English teachers. They like to read the stories, right? So what happens, they read different type of stories. So there are different type of books available. Many of the teachers, they like to read the novels, but I personally do not like to read novels, right? I don't like to read novels at all. But yes, there are many people who like to read novels. So reading improves your skills of language. Your vocabulary improves, your pronunciation improves, your reading skill improves. So there are lots and lots of improvements when you are reading. So reading is a very good habit. I do not like to read novels, but yes, of course, I do read other type of books, right? So self-help books I like to read. Now newspaper reading we are done with. This one also, let's see. Listening to stories. All right. A parent reads a bedtime story to a child. The child listens, comprehends, and narrates, and engages in discussion about the story's element. So here, what does it say? It says that now, see, these days what happens? These days everything is taken up by the mobile phone. As soon as it is bedtime, what do? We enter the bed, inside the blanket, switching on our mobile phones. Am I right? definitely. And here, the mobile phone technology is like, distracting us, and it is going to be a threat to us. Why? Now these days what happens, many of you, if you are already parents, you will know that your child, suppose the mother wants to cook, or the father wants to wash clothes or anything. So what the child does, the child is crying, right? The child wants to be with the mother or with the father. So the mother and father, both of them are busy. So what do? Yes, you guessed it right, they give the child the mobile phone, right? They play the rhymes and give it to the child, and the child enjoys. But then the parents are not thinking about the long run health issues which the child can counter as the child grows up, right? And this is not the only example. Another example, let me give you another example, is that the parents are trying to feed the child, but the child is not eating. What do the parents do next? Again, the parents give the mobile phone to the child. And yes, the child's attention is 100% in the mobile phone. Meanwhile, the parents take the Cerelac with their spoons, small spoons, and they feed the child. They feed the milk, they feed the Cerelac, or they feed the lactogen, so whatever, right? So, directly or indirectly, it is we who are spoiling our future generation. We as parents should be very much responsible. We as teachers should be very much responsible with what type of character are we directly or indirectly building in our children, right? So this is our responsibility. So as parents, what can you do? What's the solution? The solution is that you tell your child to play some physical games, right? Now you will say, my child is too small, he or she is not able to play. No problem, you play with the child, you try to play with the child, all right? But as much as possible, you try your mobile phone not to impact the child. I see many people, what do? They are feeding the baby at the same time the mother, or the mother, yes, of course, the mother is scrolling the mobile phone. And accidentally what happens? The mobile phone falls on the head or the lips or the face of the baby, and the baby is grievously hurt, right? Because the baby's body is very soft. So this mobile technology is taking our childhood, taking our child's life, it's taking our child's health. So it's impacting us in a very, very negative way. So this is my humble suggestion or humble request to the parents, to let your child be away from the mobile phones as much as possible, right? As much as possible, please try to do that. And children learn what their parents do. It is not that always the children will follow what the parents tell them to follow. No, however you're behaving in front of the child will automatically follow you, all right? So we as parents and teachers should set good examples of ourselves in front of the children, all right? So apparently it's bedtime. So this is example I was reading. So hardly we see these days that parents are narrating the stories to the children at night, or the grandma stories or the grandpa stories. These days we don't see all these, right? Still in the villages, we are lucky that technology is not so advanced, so still the children get to listen to the bedtime stories from the grandpa, grandmother, then father, mother, right? So the people in the village, they are still lucky enough. But the modern society is it's like in another world where the mobile phone has taken up everything, right? So when I speak on mobile phone, there are lots and lots of things, but let us not make this video so long, right? So let me go back again. So I was reading this one. All right, now films. So films, as I said, this means dramatization. So in the context of films, listening comprehension includes understanding dialogue, sound effects, and emotional cues conveyed through spoken language. See, now what is a film? We all like watching films, like, so examples of films can be Bollywood films, Hollywood films. Bollywood films like Pathan, right? Pathan, Pathshala, Three Idiots, Tare Zameen Par, right? So all these are secret superstars. So these movies are beautiful ones. Now, what do we like in the movie? We like the characters, the cast of the movie, the heroes, the actors of the movie, right? Then we like the songs of the movie. Then we like the dialogues of the movie. So what is happening? We are able to listen to all this, right? And we are able to see it as well. So the different type of sound effects the movies they have, the different type of dialogues, the different type of emotions they show. So one of the dialogue which was very famous is that, what, Pushpa, no, that Pushpa dialogue. So that dialogue, I cannot say it correctly, but something it was like, पुष्पा नाम सुन के फ्लावर समझे थे क्या, fire room में fire, something like that, no? So if you know it in a better way, you please say it. So these things, it improves our listening skills or language skills. Viewers watch a foreign film with subtitle. They need to comprehend the dialogue and interpret the... See, now I see many people, the Meghalaya people also, or the northeastern people, what do? We like to watch movies of different countries, right? We like to watch Korean movies. We like to watch South Indian movies. South Indian movies is very famous, right? So we like to watch that Korean movies, Chinese movies. So when we are watching these movies, what happens? We need subtitle. Now, what is subtitle? Subtitle means as the dialogue is being said by the actor, it is written as the dialogue is said, right? So as the dialogue is said by the actor, the dialogue is written. You can see the dialogues literally with your eyes. So subtitle helps us to understand. Sometimes there are certain words, especially the English movies, Hollywood movies, we are not able to understand what the actor is saying. But when there is subtitle, we are very clear. Oh, this is what he is saying. This is what he is saying, right? Because their pronunciation is quite difficult for us to understand. So that's why subtitle helps us to understand the movie better. So how does subtitle helps us? The subtitle helps us because in a way that we are able to see that word, then we are able to comprehend that word, then we are able to understand the meaning of that particular word, right? So that is how we try to understand the movie. Note discussion. Let us see note discussion. Definition. In a professional or academic setting, this involves listening to the discussions or presentations and extracting key information for note taking. See, now let me just not use hi-fi examples. Let me just use the example of our classroom. In our classroom, what happens? Suppose I am teaching about states of matter. States of matter. So I will write the topic on the board, right? Yes, finish writing. After that, I will write solid, liquid and gas are known as the states of matter. Then I will write definition. Anything which occupies space and have mass is known as a matter, right? I will write that. Then again I will write solid, liquid and gas and I will write their properties. So I will write this information in a shortcut way, right? Now what the students will do? They will take it down. They will take it down, right? They will mark. As the important words I am reading, they will mark in your textbook. As the important words I'm writing on the board, they will write it in their notebooks. So these are called what? These are called note taking. Why note taking? Because they are just taking the little information or the most important information in the whole chapter explained, right? We are not going to write the whole chapter, but we are going to take out only the important points out of that chapter and we are going to write down in our notebook, right? So during a business meeting, participants discuss the project's progress. Attendees listen to the discussion, comprehend the updates and take notes. All right, so this is saying about a business meeting. Forget about business meeting. Let us talk about our staff meeting. So those teachers who are working in schools, whenever we have staff meetings, what happens? Minute writing is there, right? Minute writing is there. So the meeting, suppose the meeting was conducted for 2 hours. But then when the minute writing is going on, when the teacher is writing the minutes of the meeting, he or she will not write everything in detail. So minute writing is just like note taking, right? So that teacher will write only the important points discussed, right? So in all these contexts, effective listening with comprehension requires an active engagement, focus, and ability to process spoken information. So in all this context, listening power is needed. The understanding power is needed. All right. If involves it often involves identifying main ideas, details, tones, and nuances in the spoken language. So if we are not able to differentiate between the different tones, differentiate between the different details given, we will not be able to understand what the speaker is trying to say correctly, right? Developing strong learning comprehension skill is valuable in education, communication, and various aspects of daily life, as it facilitates effective understanding and communication. Now what happens? Develop strong. See, yesterday also in another video also I just say that we have got one mouth and two ears. That's why we should listen more and speak less. So listening, we should try to listen what the person is trying to say, and listen and comprehend, listen and understand. Don't just listen to reply back. We have the tendency of replying back, right? We just want to reply back. So this is not the way, right? This is not the way that we will just reply. We'll just listen in order to reply back. So I know my videos are being watched by the teachers, right? The teachers are watching my videos. So there is one suggestion I would like to give in my video is that as teachers, I would like you to inform your students about the irritation. What happens? Irritation the music or the sound can cause. Now what am I talking about? I'm talking about, suppose you're traveling, right? You're traveling from Sora to Shillong, or you're traveling from Shillong to Guwahati, or you're traveling from Tura to Shillong. What happens? Especially in the night buses, or especially in the sumos. What happens? The people, they play the loud videos. They play in their mobile phones. What do? They watch the movie throughout the night. They play the music throughout the night. They play that free fire throughout the night. They play that game, this video, that video. So they are not thoughtful. They are not thinking about the fellow passengers. So this thing we need to correct from the grassroots level, right? From the root level we have to correct it. And we know that children are the future generation, right? They are the future generation. So we have to correct it from school itself. So it becomes very irritating, it becomes very irritating when you are trying to sleep and somebody is playing the music, somebody is watching the movie, somebody is playing the game. So always carry earphones. And see, this is not only about the students, this is even the elders, the adults, the old people. Everybody is doing this. So we are lacking civic sense, or we are lacking common sense. We are lacking the common sense. See, that bus or that sumo is not your private vehicle. It's a public vehicle. So we have to think about the convenience of all the passengers. Whether your video playing or song playing or game playing is disturbing the opposite person, opposite passenger or not, we have to think about it. And we have to be cautious, very much cautious. So it becomes very irritating. And yes, of course, we will not be listening to that person throughout the night. So we will complain it, right? We will complain to that passenger that please stop your mobile or please use earphones. So then also what happens? Some of the people, they behave very, very immaturely. So they try to quarrel with you. They try to fight with you, right? So these things, in order to avoid these things, I think like these things should be taught right from the school. So in the school, who comes? The children come to the school, and the same thing they learn and they share with their parents, with their elders as well, right? So once they share it, the people will come to know and they will try to understand and practice. And if you have so much of habit of listening, kindly you should carry your earphones. Even I love listening to music. So I have 2-3 earphones. I always carry it with myself so that I enjoy the music, and at the same time my co-passengers are not disturbed. So this is one piece of advice I wanted to share with you. So you as teachers, I know you do wonders, right? You are the builder of pillar of success for tomorrow, right? We are the builders of the nation, right? As teachers. So we are building the nation with our classes, with our attitudes, with our understanding, with our knowledge, right? So that's why, we should take pride in that we are the builders of future, and we should try to correct our children starting from the grassroots level, right? This was a simple advice I wanted to share with you, right? Now let us see next what we have. All right, so now let us continue with speaking effectively. Speak fluently with confident expressing, summarizing, analyzing, critiquing, opinion building. Now, what is speaking? Speaking means whatever we are saying, right? So speaking effectively involves the ability to communicate with confidence, fluency, and precision while engaging in various aspects of communication, such as expressing ideas, summarizing information, analyzing topics, critiquing arguments, and building opinions. Here is a detailed explanation of speaking effectively with examples in this context. Now you see, whenever we are saying speaking means what? Speaking means you are able to make the opposite person understand what you actually intend to say, or what you want to say, the opposite person understand clearly, right? As teachers, what do? We go to the classroom and we communicate, or we speak to the children, right? We are explaining our topics very well. So we have to be confident, right? We have to be very much confident. We have to be thorough with our concept. We have to be thorough with our language. We should be fluent. We should be precise, right? We should be precise in explaining what we are trying to tell to our students, right? So, but then it does not ends only in the classroom. Outside, everywhere, in the family, in the corridor, among the friends, among the students, among the teachers, among the elders. So everywhere we communicate. What do? We communicate. Communicate means what? We speak, we talk, right? We are talking with the fellow people. We are talking, right? So whenever we are talking, our talk should be in such a way that we are confident enough in making the opposite person understand what we are trying to say. We should be fluent in what we are trying to say. We should be precise. There are many people I know, very, very irritating. They want to say they just want to say that, what example I will give? They just have a small problem they want to share with you. But they will not come to that point. They will tell you the whole story. And when your half an hour time is spent, that time they will come to what they actually wanted to say. It means what? It means that person is lacking precision. That person is not able to be precise. That person is not able to explain in a precise, in a short way what he or she wanted to say, right? So this means that person is wasting my time, your time, and their own time. So we should respect our time, right? We should respect everybody's time. Because time never comes back. Everything in life will come back except your time. Even the money will come back. Even the lost partners will come back. But your time will never come back. So we as individuals, we as humans should be very much smart in spending our time wherever we are spending. Because today is what? Today is 25th of October 2023. So the time I am spending making this video will never come back into my life again. Will it come back? It will never come back. And whenever you're watching this video, the time you're spending in watching this video of 40 to 50 minutes, I suppose, so you will never get back that time. But then you will be proud of yourself that yes, I have spent my time qualitatively. I have done something. I have learned something through such video, which I can apply throughout my entire life. It means what? It means you have utilized your time in a very, very good way, right? You have utilized your time. So my dear friends, you should be very much choosy in talking to the people or engaging with the people, because the time once spent will never come back. There are lots and lots of irritating people all around, so you should know with whom to talk, what to talk, how to talk, or not to talk. So it's totally up to you. So save your time, save your energy, right? So let's see now. Speak fluently with confidence. Definition: speaking fluently with confidence means being able to express thoughts and ideas smoothly and without hesitation. So now you see great leaders. Great leaders, what do? They are able to speak very fluently without any hesitation. There is no nervousness, right? Whenever you go to election campaigns and watch the people speaking, campaigning, right? So what do? You see that those leaders are able to express their thoughts very clearly. They are able to speak very clearly. Their presence of mind is brilliant, right? They are very much smart, right? Very smooth. So they speak only what needs to be spoken. They don't speak, they don't make, mixing here and there things. They don't mix up. They speak direct to the point, right? So suppose a business leader delivers a confident and fluid representation to their team, explaining new project goals and strategies without stumbling. See, now what happens? Again, here a business example is given. So let it be for us, since we deal with school, so let us try to understand in the perspective of school. Suppose the principal conducts a staff meeting. The principal will discuss different type of ideas, different type of future plans, right, with us. What improvement needs to be done? What feedbacks are you giving to the principal, or what feedbacks needs to be given to the management? What about the salaries? How much salaries increment should be there? How many days holidays should be there? When the exam should be conducted? When the results should be made out? So all these things the principal will discuss with the teachers. But suppose if the principal is not confident, the principal is not fluent, the principal is not precise, then do you think that meeting, which could have been completed in half an hour, will be completed in half an hour? I don't think so. It will take your 1 hour extra, so it might be completed by 1.5 hours. So as leaders, as teachers, as individuals, we should have very good communication skills. And what is language? Language is all about communication, right? So it improves our communication skills through different areas which we have already discussed. That is listening, speaking, reading, writing. Always remember this sequence, my dear friends, that listening comes first. So when we are toddlers, when we are small babies, since that time, what do? We start listening. And after listening, what do? We start speaking, babbling. The child starts babbling, right? So from L to R, listening to L to S, listening to speaking. Listening, then speaking. After that comes reading. Then the child starts reading. A for apple, B for ball, right? The child starts to sing, right? So listening, speaking, reading, and the last one is W. W means what? W means the writing skill of the child. So finally the child learns to write. So you have to remember this sequence. It's LSRW. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. Why am I saying this again and again in repeated mode? Because this type of question keeps on coming in Mtet examination. So what happens? They will ask you which is the correct sequence. So you have to be smart enough to understand that LSRW is the correct sequence, right? Expressing ideas. Expressing ideas involves conveying thoughts, opinions, and information clearly and effectively. During a debate, a student articulates their views on a particular social issue, providing well-structured arguments and examples to support the instance. See, how do we express our ideas? See here, very simple example is given of debate competition. So in a debate competition, one is for the motion, another one is against the motion. So you might get the topic as mobile phone is a boon for the society. Of course, you can speak, yes, it is a boon for the society because mobile phone has made us access the entire world in a single click. Internet is doing a lot internet has done lots of advancement, that it has made our studies easy. We are able to connect with different people, we are able to get the resources online. Then again, the other person will say no, mobile phone is not a boon for the society, because it has made the people very, very lethargic. Before, the people used to go out and play football, cricket, basketball, used to do morning walk, evening walk, but these days everything is found in the mobile phone. So the individuals are becoming very weak. At the same time, they are becoming sick, they are not able to take care of themselves, they are unhealthy. So this will go on and go on and go on. Now what happens? They both are trying to express their ideas, right? They are trying to express their ideas. So you also have different ways by which you can express your ideas. That is creative writing. What do? How can you do it? You can write poems, right? Your thoughts can be well understood in the form of poems, or to be more precise, in the form of a song. Now you listen to different type of songs, right? Country song, folk song, rock song, pop song, rap song, hip hop songs, classical Indian, western songs. So different type of music you listen to. Now what is this music all about? These musics are all about the feelings, the emotions, the expressions, the thoughts of the writer, the one who is writing these lyrics, the one who is writing this song, right? So this is also one way in which our thoughts and expressions, our thoughts and ideas can be expressed. Now, summarizing information. Summarizing requires condensing lengthy or complex information into concise and comprehensible statements. A new anchor summarizes a day's events in a brief segment, providing key details and highlighting in a clear and concise manner. Now see, as teachers, what do? We write the topic, we explain point by point. And once we are done with the chapters, before coming out of the classroom, what do? We take 5 minutes and explain or summarize or conclude the entire chapter in 5 minutes. Yes or no? Yes, we all do that. So that is called summary or summarization, right? That is called summary or summarization. So that we as teachers, we practice it, right? We are practicing that. And suppose you are writing an article, or you're writing an essay, or you're writing a story, I'm not sure, but you're writing an essay especially. So what do? We conclude, right? We write the conclusion at the end, so that everything is covered in that conclusion part, right? Yes. Now, analyzing topics. Analyzing involves in examining a subject critically, breaking it down into its component, and offering insights and interpretations. A political commentator analyzes the results of an election, dissecting the voting patterns, demographics, and potential implications for the future. See, analyze means what? Analyzing means doing something at the end of that particular event, right? Doing the calculation, or finding out the faults, or getting the feedback, suggestions, what went well, what could be improved. So all these comes after an event is performed, right? After an event is performed. Suppose a school's sports week. So sports week was done, it's over. So we as teachers, we will sit together and we will discuss like what went well. We will analyze the event. What was good, what was bad, how can it be improved. So all these things is called analyzing, breaking it down into simple formats and trying to explain it, right? Now, critiquing arguments. What is this? Definition. Critiquing arguments means evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of someone else's position or reasoning. In a classroom debate, a student critiques an opponent's arguments by pointing out logical fallacies and presenting order. All right, so this is what I already explained. Critiquing arguments. Critics means what? Critics means those who find out your negative points. They will try to find out your negative points and try to prove their point as correct. And you yourself also will try to prove the other person wrong and try to prove yourself as right. So this is what critiquing we mean by critics. So there are critics, critic are the people who criticizes or who point out the mistakes, what mistakes are done. Whenever a movie is released, what happens? Critics are the ones who will give the review. What went well, what was not good, what can be improved, what was extra, what was limited. So all these things will be explained by the critics, and based on the reviews of the critics, we can, like, according to you, whether the critic, like, whatever the critics say it, if it matches with your feelings, you can, like, either you wish to go to watch that movie, you can go. If you don't wish, you cannot, you should not go, right? Now, opinion building. Definition: opinion building is the process of forming and articulating a well-reasoned perspective on a particular issue. An editorial writer constructs a compelling opinion piece on a controversial topic, presenting evidence, logical reasoning, and persuasive language to influence readers. Opinion building. See, opinion means what? Opinion means, suppose I say election should be conducted after every 3 years. This is my opinion, and I will have different type of reasons for that. And you will say election should be conducted after every 6 years. So that is your point of view, and you will have many things to say on this particular topic, right? So I will try to prove myself as right, and you will try to prove yourself as right, citing certain examples, citing certain feedback, citing certain type of activities, or different type of examples you will give, like this happened, that happened. So you and me, we all will try to prove ourselves right and the opposite person wrong, right? So this is called what? This is called opinion building. Now, public speaking. Public speaking is nothing new. Public speaking involves addressing an audience effectively, often in formal settings such as presentations, speeches, or lectures. A motivational speaker engages an audience by delivering an inspiring speech on resilience and personal growth at a conference. So public speaking means speaking in front of the public. We as teachers, we speak in front of the public. Students speak in front of the public. The political leaders, they speak in front of the public. The actors, they speak in front of the public. The singers, they speak in front of the public. So all of us, we speak in front of the public. But speaking publicly is an art. Speaking publicly is a skill which you have to adapt. If you are nervous speaking in front of 4 people, then how can we expect that you can speak in front of the entire audience or public, right? So you will see many stand-up comedians, right? Stand-up comedians, so they speak in front of the whole crowd. They are not nervous. They are fluent. They are thorough. They are confident. So that's why they are able to speak in front of the public. Then motivational speakers, you will see. The motivational speakers, they keep on standing and speaking. Why? How? Because they have gained enough of their experiences, they have gained enough confidence to speak what they are speaking. So this is a very good skill we as teachers should adapt. That is public speaking event. We should take part in public speaking event. These days what happens in the assembly, the teachers are asked to come forward and deliver a message in the morning. So we hesitate. Why do we hesitate? Because we are lacking public speaking skill. So as teachers, we should take part in public speaking skills. All right. Now, negotiations and persuasion. Let's see, negotiation and persuasion. Negotiation and persuasion skills are essential for convincing others, reaching agreements, and resolving conflict. A skilled salesperson persuades a potential customer to buy a product by presenting its features, benefits, and addressing the customer's concern. Now, see, marketing. Many of you, those who are from commerce background, you know about it better. What is marketing means? So, you will see LIC people wandering all around. Whenever they will come to you, sir, please take this LIC policy, take this policy, that policy, this insurance, that insurance. They will irritate you. They irritate you like anything, right? So if a person is having what? A person is having a negotiating skill, that person will be able to convince you. You say today I'm not free, tomorrow you come. They will come tomorrow again. Then again you say you come at 5, they will come at 5. And the way they explain, or the way they advertise their features, like whatever the cover is there, whatever the amount you have to pay. So, at the end of the day, they can convince you. But if you are not good at persuading people, you are not good at negotiating, then you will end up nowhere as an LIC agent or as an insurance provider or as a salesperson, right? So, I know that many of you already have the experience of people coming all around selling books, right? People, they come and they sell encyclopedias, story books. They try to, you will say, hey, I don't want to buy. No, I don't need. But still they will say, sir, just have a look at it. You don't have to buy. No need to buy, so don't buy, but just please have a look at the book. Then, once you're looking at the book, you get interested in it. You watch the pictures, you see the formulas, so you become interested. And suppose your child happened to come by, so that child will say, oh, papa or mummy, I really love this book, please buy it, please take it for me. So what will you do? You will definitely buy it. So these are some marketing tricks. So, and let me give you a very simple example. You are going to market to buy a t-shirt. Suppose the cost of the t-shirt is 1,000. How many thousands? 1,000. So if you have good negotiating and persuading power skill, you will be able to persuade the shopkeeper by saying that, brother, 1,000 is too much, I cannot afford it, but if you can make it 700, I will definitely buy it. Then the shopkeeper will say, no brother, I will not be able to give you for 700, I can give you for 800 definitely. But you will say, no brother, I do not have that much money. If you really can give, please give me at 700 only, but I'll not be able to pay you more than that. Then the shopkeeper will say, all right brother, not yours, not mine, let's just make it 750. Let's make it 750. Then you will see that the shopkeeper is also so polite. The way of talking is so nice. He is so impressive, so polite, so gentle, so kind, so humble. Then you will be persuaded, or you will be convinced. You will say, all right brother, then just pack it for 750 then. So if you have a good experience, if you have a good person to talk with, if the opposite person tries to understand what you are feeling, what you're trying to say, if you are able to understand what the opposite person is trying to say, then money is not a big deal. Money is not a big deal. Everything depends on how well you can negotiate, how well you can communicate, how well you can talk, how well you can convince that person. So everything depends on that. And some of the shopkeepers are so disciplined that you would just feel like, let me give 100 rupees tips to him. But then there are opposite shopkeepers also. Suppose you will say, sir, not sir, brother, I want to buy a mobile phone. Then that person will ask you, which mobile phone? Then you will say, anything which is at the top. These days you just show me that. Then that person will say, no, just tell me the name, which one you want. Then you will say, sir, I want to buy which phone should I say? Let me talk about my phone. So you will say, brother, I want to buy Realme. Then that person will say, are you sure you will buy? You will say, at first I have to look at the features and all, everything I will look, and after that, if everything is feasible, I will definitely buy. But that shopkeeper is so rude that shopkeeper will say, if you will buy, I will show you. If you do not buy, why will I waste my time? I will not show you. So this type of shopkeepers are also there. If you have not looked at the features, if you have not seen the mobile phones, how can you buy it? We cannot buy it without looking the features, without looking at the dummies of the mobile phone. But some shopkeepers are very, very irritating like this. So if this is the attitude of the shopkeeper, do you think this shopkeeper will ever progress? I don't think so. So these are certain examples. Going too much, na? Explaining too much. All right. Active listening and responding. Effective speaking often involves active listening to others and responding thoughtfully. During a group discussion, a participant listens attentively to a colleague's point of view and responds with a well-reasoned counter argument. Effective speaking combines fluency, confidence, clarity, and ability to adapt to different communication context. Whether informal conversation, formal presentation, debates, or persuasive discussions, speaking effectively plays a crucial role in conveying information. Right. So what does it say? Active listening. See, I have been telling you on and on and on. Know that active listening is the key of language learning. If you are not listening, you cannot become a good speaker. So we should listen more and speak less. So if you are able to listen to a person thoughtfully, if you are able to listen to a person without being judgmental, then you can really improve your skill of learning language. So suppose we are having a group discussion. So in group discussion, one of the colleagues says, I think we should build a parking lot inside the school campus. Another will accept the point first, that yes sir, I think you are right, but then sir, I think it will be better if we can make the parking lot outside the school campus. Then again the third one will say, sir, both of you are right, but then I feel like parking lot should be made 1 meter away from school. So something like that, we will discuss. Once we are discussing the things positively, everything turns out positive. But then suppose if you listen, hey, if this person says this, if this person says water, I will say fire. We have this type of intentions, negative intentions sometimes. We just want to look down at our colleagues, but this is a wrong intention, my dear friends. So accept others' point of view, then you give your point of view. Then everybody will like you and you will be appreciated. They will be grateful to you, which means you are a good listener and speaker at the same time, right? So and whenever you are speaking, you should be very thoughtful. You should say what needs to be said and not what need not be said, right? Then whenever you're speaking, you should be fluent, confident, clear in whatever you're trying to communicate or you're trying to say. All right, and your speech or your discussion or your talk should be in such a way that the opposite persons are convinced, persuaded. All right, they feel happy. Hey, this guy's suggestion is so good, I agree with him, I also agree with him, then everyone agrees with you, right? So these are certain ways in which we should speak. As teachers, we know that we have more responsibilities of speaking in a good way than other professions, right? We are more thoughtful. We have to be more thoughtful because we are the examples for the future generation, right? The students, the parents, the younger ones, the elder ones, everybody look at us with respect, right? With respect. Everybody calls us sirs and madams. Why? Because we deserve to be called like that, right? Because we are the builders. We are the builders of what? Building? No, we are the builder of the nation. We are the builders of the entire nation. Why? Because we are making the future generation ready, right? So whatever goes on inside the classroom, outside the classroom, however we are dealing with the children, so everything is going to impact the future generation. So that's why as teachers we should be very, very thoughtful. And also one of the example, that irritating example I was giving you regarding the use of earphones or not using the earphones in the vehicle. So I would just like you to comment in the comment section how many of you have already experienced this, that the co-passenger sits there beside you and they are irritating you with their mobile sound, playing the songs, watching the TV, watching the serial, watching the movie, playing the games. So how many of you have experienced this? Let me know. Or am I the only one? So let us see. So this is all I have to say in this video. The video has become quite long, so I hope you don't lose your cool while you're watching this video. So stay cool and keep watching the video, and thank you everyone from Ashok Tutorials. And yesterday it was Dashera, so I have given lots and lots of offers on Ashok Tutorial notes. So still, if anybody wants to buy, so you can kindly let us know what subject you want to buy and how many papers or how many subjects you need to buy. All right, because when you don't talk, we will not be able to understand what you are up to. And when I don't talk, you yourself will also not understand what am I up to. So talking is needed. That's why we are learning this English language or language skills, right? So that's why keep talking, keep rocking. And thank you everyone for staying connected with the Shock tutorials. Thank you and happy learning.